Let's talk about barrier draws in back to school. Now, barrier draws, we've touched a lot. We spoke for 2 weeks on speed maps.
Yeah.
But the importance of barrier draws, and the reason why I want to ask you this, Salts, because Nature Strip comes out, draws 12. We see the Channel 9 News report that it's a horror draw.
Did they?
Yeah.
What, Hitch come out and said Nature Strip?
I think it was New South Wales. I saw it on the tweet.
I didn't know Hitch was into racing.
So someone came out and said, Channel 9 said it was a horror barrier draw.
Yeah.
Now, talk to us about barrier draws, tracks, certain horses. The reason why I ask you, obviously, Nature Strip, barrier 12, you'd much rather draw 12 for a horse like that than barrier 1.
Yes, definitely. Even though last start he drew inside and then hunted up and relaxed and finished
He's a better
off.
horse now.
Yeah, he is. Traditionally, I was so keen on him to win last year's Everest because he drew just outside Eduardo. They weren't far outside, but he'd drawn outside, so you knew he was going to roll across. It is a bit of a similar situation this year, but there is a little bit more speed underneath. But he like for keen going horses, drawing wide, fantastic, because they can sort of get keen and take their time to get across. So the barrier draw and knowing the style of runner.
Horse, yes.
Yeah,
yep.
And knowing the style of runner is important as well. A lot of it intermingles with speed maps, but if I use this weekend at Caulfield for an example, and something that gets said a lot but doesn't quite often get executed a lot by a lot of punters are wide draws from the Caulfield chute, for example. They're actually a positive because the market can overplay the draw, but they've got such a long run and only one bend. There's a horse I'm going to back on the weekend in race 6, Never Standing Still, who's a wet tracker way up in grade, but has drawn out. And I think it's a positive on the weekend at Caulfield from those sprint races to be drawn out and sort of either lead off the fence or find that running line. So the start point is obviously really important for the barriers and how long they've got to the first turn and the style of horse.
Now, my biggest take on this is the market and how the market reacts. We've seen Nature Strip drift on Thursday morning. Whether that's because of the barrier draw, I don't know. But like you said, you made a very salient point around outside barriers. The market can overplay the importance of those barriers and you actually get value for those runners.
Yeah.
You also got like starting point, 1,600 metres at Randwick. In a race like a Doncaster, wide barriers have got a much better record than inside barriers.
Yeah.
So that's important. There's various websites you can look at percentages and winning chances where horses draw. So that's always a good starting point as well. But you've got to pick the horse and what will suit the horse. And it's a case by case scenario, and I can't stress that enough.
Like Brutal in a Doncaster, he drew out and was able to just roll across. Like it actually helps. Another one
because the shoot start as well.
Yeah, we've got the Melbourne Cup coming up, and there's what is it 20 or 24?
24, mate.
24.
No emergencies.
Oh yeah. So 24 horses.
Get the sub roll and no emergencies.
Bloody hell, he's drawn 24. It's 1,700 meters until they have to go around a corner. So it beat Surprise Baby one year, but still, it's not that big a deal.
And it probably won Ver and Declare Melbourne Cup. And
So we're actually sticking it to ourselves here, but
they
still,
are important,
overall, depending on the start point, you need to learn where to place the emphasis.
And it's all about maps and delving into it a bit further. Don't just look at the marble and say,
yeah,
nah,
exactly.
Drifting. You've got to actually do the homework because it might suit others.
Gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-858-858.